morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to further revise the lesson The Rattrap by Selma Lagerlöf. Now a brief about the author. A Swedish writer whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs through all of her stories. A belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. And this story is also based on a similar theme. The story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figure large in history and legends of that country. This story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. Rattrap cellar, pathetic state. This is how the story begins, describing his pathetic state. Poverty-stricken life, a vagabond, clothes in rags, cheeks sunken, hunger gleamed in his eyes. Apart from selling rat traps, because it did not give him enough money to earn his livelihood, he resorted to begging and also compromised with the principles of life by indulging in petty thievery. He used to make rat traps either by stealing material like iron wires and selling the rat traps, but hardly very few people bought. And so he had to either beg or indulge in thefts. Now, rat trap seller was known by different names in this lesson. Tramp, vagabond, stranger, peddler. This man did not have any name, but these were the names that he is referred to in the lesson, as if he does not have any identity. He is not referred to by any name. Now one day a philosophical thought struck him, and which amused him. He found it entertaining. The whole world is a big rat trap, with lands, seas, cities, villages, and it is offering baits to tempt people, to lure people to fall into baits, just like a rat trap, which offers bait to a rat in the form of cheese or pork. And once the rat gets lured by this, he is trapped in the rat trap. Similarly, the world is offering riches, joys, shelter, food, heat, clothing, all materialistic things to attract, to lure man to fall in the trap. And once a person gets lured by these baits, that is his end. And seeing others fall into this trap gave him a kind of sadistic pleasure, because he had nothing to lose. Now, one night, he was trudging along the road and it became late, and he thought of taking shelter. He caught sight of a little grey cottage. He knocked at the door to ask for shelter, not expecting one. But the door was answered by the old crofter, who surprisingly not only gave him shelter, shared his porridge, tobacco, acted like a perfect host to the guest, treated the rat trap seller, the peddler, as a perfect guest, and he also played a game of majolis with him. More than that, he also shared his confidences, his secrets, which a person usually shares with a trusted person. But the crofter was sharing his secrets of saving 30 kroners, which he had earned by selling milk of cow. And not only this, he showed him the exact place where he had hidden the saved money, 30 kroners. Now, the peddler, he betrayed the trust reposed on him by the crofter. The next morning, when both of them went out, crofter for his work and peddler also left. Midway, he decided to return. And as he knew the place, he, without any effort, just by breaking the window's pane, he could easily get hold of the 30 kroners, which the crofter had saved. And now, as he had committed a theft and the fear of being caught was there, instead of taking the main road, he took the way of the forest for the fear of being arrested. Now he got lost. He was extremely tired and exhausted, on verge of collapse. Then he could see some light. He went in the direction of that light, and he had reached Ramjo Ironworks, where he asked for shelter. He was neither invited nor denied. Probably in that place, people used to take shelter. Now, but as he was very close to the fireplace, in order to make himself comfortable, and the ironmaster, who had come on his inspection, on his nightly rounds, he mistook him to be his old comrade, Niels Olof. His old acquaintance, Niels Olof. And the peddler also remained quiet because this greed of getting some money in the form of charity excited him. So he did not deny the fact that he is not Niels Olof. He just kept quiet. Now, the ironmaster invited him to come to his house. But now the peddler was alerted. He thought that he should not drag himself unnecessarily into a trap. So he declined Ironmaster's invitation. But then Ironmaster was not a kind of person who would take no for an answer. So he persuaded his daughter, he asked his daughter to persuade the peddler to come with her to his house, to her house. After a gap of half an hour, the ironmaster sent his daughter to bring his so-called friend home. Now Edla was a humble girl, very shy. She introduced herself as Edla Williamson and said she was sorry to hear about the hard times that he was facing. But then she noticed something. The fear in his eyes made her suspect that probably he had committed robbery or was escaping from jail. So she said very politely that he was free to leave their house at any time, but she wanted him to stay with the family just for Christmas Eve, which the peddler could not deny. The manner of both the invitations were different. If he declined Ironmaster's invitation because it was like an order, an authority, whereas Edla's invitation was very genuine, very warm, very courteous, did not put any condition, and so the peddler could not decline the invitation and accepted it. But then the next morning, when the ironmaster saw the peddler well groomed, as he had ordered his servants to make the peddler presentable before him the next morning. Now the ironmaster realized that this man did not resemble his so-called friend Niels Olof, and the ironmaster got so angry that he decided to hand him over to the sheriff, to the police. Now the peddler pleaded and he gave this justification that today he is caught in a rat trap. Maybe some other day the ironmaster would be caught. Now the ironmaster was amused by this sort of justification. Then EDLA came in defense of the peddler, and she said that it was they who had invited him and they should not ask him to leave now. At least this man has a right. He should be allowed Christmas cheer on a Christmas Eve. Edla acted like a perfect host. An honored guest was the peddler. Edla treated him like an honored guest. He enjoyed the best Christmas feast, rest, and was allowed even to wear the ironmaster's suit as a Christmas gift. He was further assured by Edla that even if he wanted to come for the next Christmas, he was most welcome. Now, at the church, the next morning, on Christmas Day, when they had gone for, father and daughter had gone for church service, they learned that Crofter was robbed by a man who sold rat traps. Now they rushed, fearing that their house would have been robbed. Peddler had left. He took nothing. Rather, he left a gift for Edla. Rattrap, 3 10-kroners note to be returned to Crofter, and a note of thanks for Edla. The theme of the story is it upholds the belief that essential goodness of a human being can be awakened through love and understanding. It also brings into focus the idea that world is a rat trap. Riches, joys, shelter and food are lucrative baits to trap mankind. And man should be cautious of these rat traps. Now, the rat trap is a metaphor to highlight human predicament. If you look into the title deeply, just as a rat is fooled by a bait and gets trapped, most of human beings are likely to fall into the trap of material benefits. There is essential goodness in all the human beings, and this can be awakened through love and understanding. This is what Edla did, and which brought a great transformation in Peddler. From a thief, towards the end of the lesson, we see how he was transformed. And we now stop here. You read the text, the material that has been provided to you. Thank you. Have a nice day and